Hello, everyone. This is Jennifer Lisanti, the Director of Sales at Beere&Purves. Thank you very much for participating in today's webinar. This is our annual Out with the Old, In with the New webinar that we do annually, introducing the carrier's information for the following year. So usually I do this in November, but luckily the carriers have been generous and releasing information earlier. So this year we were able to complete it in October. I will cover a couple of housekeeping items before we get started. So everyone is on mute and your webcams are off, so you don't have to worry about it. We do welcome questions. Please type them in during the question box. During the presentation, I'll glance at them at the end. And if we don't have time, I'll certainly circle back and get back to you. Trying to keep this presentation to 30 minutes because we know it's Q4 and everyone's busy, but happy to help you. I will go ahead and answer the number one question we always get on webinars, and that is we will be sending a copy of this recording and the presentation out to all people that attended. So having said that, we'll go ahead and jump into it. So the topic this year is, there's not as much going on, but there are some different things to talk about. First of all, the agenda is the key takeaways, the carrier updates, and the special enrollment period. But the key takeaways are that for the fifth year in a row, we are having very low renewals from the carriers. So sometimes decreases tends to be very low single digits. I will throw out there that as we show you all the rate averages for the upcoming year, please keep in mind that when the carrier is releasing this data, it's statewide averages. It does vary by plan and by location. And then you have to remember, unfortunately, we all get older every year. So when they're looking at the averages, they're looking at, say, what a 30-year-old cost from 12 months ago to today. However, all of us, we turn from 30 to 31 every year. So you have to take that into consideration. And then also a reminder of those older dependents within a family group start having a bigger impact, especially when they start to get to age 15, where they start getting a higher premium. And once you get to age 21 and higher, there's not a cap of 3 kids anymore. So if you have 4 kids and one's 21 or older, now you can be charged for 4 instead of 3 kids. The good news is every year the carriers are given a new actuarial value calculator by the feds, and they have to run all their existing plans through that calculator and then make adjustments. And that's why you see higher out-of-pocket maxes every year, higher deductibles, etc. This year it was very minimal though, so it's nice to see less changes, and it's really nice to see, greater cost sharing with the employees, because these premiums are so expensive, and every year the plans were getting watered down, but yet they are being charged more, and we're seeing a little bit less in the plan design changes, which is exciting. And the last thing I want to talk about is narrow networks have been very popular in Southern California for a long time in California, however, not so much in Northern California. But all the carriers are starting to having different arrangements, and they're not necessarily narrow networks like we've thought of them before. The carriers are starting to partner with key provider relations. So the higher end providers that you know and everyone wants, and then they're starting to create networks around those key providers. So we'll go ahead and jump into Aetna. And the other item you're going to see throughout this presentation is some carriers that have been kind of stagnant in the most recent years in small group are actually coming back to play. So for example, Aetna, they were kind of quiet for a while, and if you've been seeing the rates recently, especially for 2022, you're going to see that they're very competitive in areas where they haven't been competitive before. So if you haven't been including them in your spreads, you definitely want to at least look at it and make sure you present that to your clients so that they're aware, because they're going to be getting low rate increases, but there may be better options out there if they want to save some money. So with that, now you can see there's a quarterly and annual averages. Again, take those things into consideration. I said everyone gets older, those dependents, etc. And then you can see where in the state of California Aetna is pretty competitive. So that is in Northern California for the first time on full network PPO plans. So Contra Costa, Alameda, Santa Clara, and San Mateo, and on HMOs throughout the state. With Aetna, if you have been selling it, you're familiar with all the different narrow networks they've had, and they're just cleaning them up. You'll see that trend with other carriers as we go through this presentation today. So Aetna is removing the HMO deductible network and the Elect Choice EPO networks, just cleaning them up, offering less networks, less confusion. They're expanding, however, the AWH networks in Southern California and the Savings Plus network in Southern California. What I want to spend a little bit more time on talking about is Aetna's had a joint venture relationship in large group for a while with Sutter. And believe it or not, no one ever, especially healthcare, ever really partners with Sutter, but Aetna's been able to do so. And now they're bringing it to the small group market starting in January. So they have a joint venture with Sutter. It's a narrow network, including Sutter, and their PPO plan designs, not HMOs. And it's a way for members that are using Sutter providers to take these select plan designs, they're different plan designs and offered outside of this relationship. And they can see those providers that they know and love and save some premium at the same time. And the nice thing with Aetna is they allow multiple networks and multiple plans at the same time. So, if I want Sutter, I can take the Sutter joint venture network and plan designs. And if my coworker doesn't want Sutter, then they can certainly take a different plan design. Both can be offered to us at the same company. Aetna is cleaning up their portfolios, you can see as we go through this, and all the carriers have to offer plan designs that match what are offered on the state exchange, even if the carrier doesn't participate in the state exchange, individual or small group. So for example, Aetna does not, and they have to offer these plan designs, at least one in each metallic tier. Aetna is just going to categorize them so it's cleaner and easier to understand which ones are the state mandated plans. So when you start seeing the letter M for Mary, that means mandated, and that's just going to indicate that it's like a shop mirror plan, if you think of it that way, that you're probably used to that verbiage with other carriers. So with those M plans, just be aware they are not going to be offered on the full network HMO network, but they're offered on a wide variety of narrow networks and the PPO. And they don't cover a lot of infertility. There's just the base level. They do cover ACU, but not Chiro. And then you can see they're just kind of cleaning up their portfolio. I do want to point out, because there's a trend in 2022 that we're pretty excited about, some of the carriers are actually bringing back HSA plans with lower deductibles at the gold metallic level. So you can see Aetna's offering a 2,800 HSA plan starting in January. We haven't had that with Aetna before, or not in recent history. So with Aetna, you probably know that they were purchased by CVS, so they're just taking advantage of that partnership that they have, and they're starting to try to get a hold of the high pharmaceutical costs. And what they're going to do is they're trying to steer members to use CVS, but they're not forcing you to use CVS. So it's just kind of what like Anthem did in 2021, where they say, hey, you can go anywhere you want to, but depending on which pharmacy you go to depends on the cost of your prescriptions when you pick them up. So what Aetna's doing is for maintenance medication only, they really want you to go to CVS, whether you get it through the mail from CVS or you go to your local CVS retail store on the corner. Then it's going to be covered at 100%. However, if you don't get your maintenance medication from CVS, you don't have to, but you do have to take action and literally opt out by the 3rd month. Otherwise, that maintenance medication will not be covered. So you can still go there as long as you opt out. If you don't opt out, it's not covered, or just go to CVS and you're going to save money. So, but the members got the choice. And the visual on the right side is the actual flyer that's going out to the mail or going out to members, so they are getting this information, they're informed. The last thing on this slide with Aetna is they've got a lot of tools like UHC has nationally for members. And Aetna's had a relationship with Apple Watch, and it's pretty slick. It's called Attain, and they've had it for several years now. And they're just going to be expanding that in 2022 to Android users. And it's a little different than the normal wellness tools we're used to, because it really customizes based on the member's level, their health situation, what their personal goals are, and then it rewards them based on that. All right, switching gears on Anthem. Not a ton of changes with Anthem for 2022, which is nice. You can see here the quarterly and the annual trend, obviously it's very low still. And then you can see where, at least on the full network PPO plan designs throughout the state of California, they're competitive. And you're gonna notice they've done a great job in way north of California. They're very competitive there too, in the wine country, Central Valley, and in the Southern California kind of inland valleys. With Anthem, their big talking piece is Vivity. So Anthem's had a relationship in large group Anthem for about 6 years with Vivity. And what Vivity is, it's based in Southern California, and it's that same concept we just talked about with Aetna and Sutter, for example. It's like an ACO where Anthem has partnered with prestigious providers, And they work together to say, how can we offer lower premiums and attract members? And so they're bringing this Vivity network, which is in Southern California, and you can see the prestigious providers down here, Cedars-Sinai, UCLA, for example. And you can enroll in those, and you're going to save premium dollars over the traditional full network CaliforniaCare HMO that they normally offer. And again, just like with Aetna, if that doesn't work for everyone, you can offer multiple networks. So the people that want to go to UCLA for less money take Vivity, and the people that don't can take another, either CaliforniaCare. You can offer 2 HMO networks and 1 PPO network, or 2 PPO networks and 1 HMO. That's specific with Anthem. All right, very minimal plan changes because of that AV calculator too with Anthem. So they're bringing out 1 new plan design. It's a platinum HMO plan. As a result, they're going to have to tweak a couple of their other current platinum HMO plan designs, which you see. They're going to continue their WH, their whole health offerings. So we get a lot of questions about that. What's WH? And that's just when that kind of a base dental and vision plan are included on the medical plan. So it's just all consolidated and integrated. So they're going to be offering those whole health options through Vivity as well. So there's going to be 6 with whole health and 6 without whole health. So 12 Vivity plans in total. The last thing with Anthem right now is that they're trying to reach out to members with chronic conditions and encourage them to take care of their health on a daily basis, so they don't, not take care of their health and end up with very expensive claims. So you can see on the bottom right, in the middle, it shows the types of conditions that they're reaching out to. And if you have, or the member has these types of conditions, Anthem is going to cover the items on the left at 100%, trying to encourage either a $0 copay or a deductible waive, trying to encourage these members to take care of themselves and to reduce claims in the future. Cigna+Oscar, kind of like where Aetna is coming back into the market, Cigna+Oscar is a new carrier. Most people are probably somewhat familiar with it at this point. They've been around for a little bit. Quick reminder, this is also a joint venture with Cigna and Oscar, which is a new insurance company based out of New York that started more on the individual side before they came into California. And now in California, it's Cigna+Oscar. It's a small group medical plan, not large group yet. They're using the Cigna networks, either local access or the open access larger network. And what's exciting is they've been around, but we haven't sold too much. However, in 2022, they're going to start offering PPO plan designs. And so we are super excited. We think we'll be able to sell more Cigna+Oscar now because people were just a little bit hesitant on the EPO. And now with the PPO offering, I think people will be more interested in it. So with the PPO, it is using the larger Cigna network called Open Access. They're still going to offer those EPO plan designs they started with. And so if that works for someone, just be aware that's a smaller, narrow network with Cigna called Local Access. But you could offer both networks side by side. You just have to make sure you're not offering more than 4 total plans, including different networks. They have some unique plan designs for 2022, which you'll see listed there. But I want to also point out that they came out, people thought they might be super competitive. They weren't incredibly competitive initially, but in 2022, they've got those PPO plans, and then you're going to see they're super competitive, like in San Francisco, and then some Southern California regions, like Region 16, which is LA, San Diego, etc. And if you're not familiar with Cigna+Oscar, Oscar has a lot of really great real technology, I like to call it. Super easy for the group, the member, a lot of just member tools, quick access for members to get care. It's a whole different concept, so we should probably spend more time on that, individually. Just reach out to us, we can cover that more. A couple underwriting changes with Cigna+Oscar is because we're having that issue where more and more employees are moving outside the state of California, getting groups kind of upside down and underwriting, harder to find a home. Cigna+Oscar has gotten a little more lenient. They used to want 51% enrolling to be in California. Well, now they've changed that to 51% eligible, which was kind of the rule that everyone else had, but it is more lenient for Cigna+Oscar, so just be aware of that. They do require just 1 employee, so 51% eligible, and then you can have a lot of Kaiser membership basically, with only 1 enrollee with Cigna+Oscar, and it will still work. For 2022, they decreased the number in order to just waive a D9C or prior carrier bill. So kind of like it with Anthem, if you have 3+, Cigna+Oscar doesn't need a D9C or a prior care bill. So a little more lenient than Anthem, because Anthem will want the bill, but no D9C down to 3. Let's see, and I said they'll take the 4 plans. Oscar Direct was its own insurance company in the state of California, and that is going away. You're going to see that going away through CalChoice, through Covered California, and Direct. And those members have the option to choose Cigna+Oscar. It's going to cost them a little more because it's the Cigna network, which is larger than what the Oscar Direct network is. But what they've seen is the Oscar members have loved Oscar so much, they're willing to move over to the Cigna+Oscar because they love those tools and technology. It's just very user-friendly insurance. We'll leave it at that. CalChoice, not a ton of changes for 2022, which is really nice. They're a #2 medical carrier for 2021. They're doing really well ever since they rolled out that Anthem full network PPO and that 4 metallic tier offerings earlier. So you'll just see minimal changes. Again, they're taking Oscar Direct off. They're taking out the UHC Advantage HMO, which UHC is doing direct as well. And just like UHC Direct, they're going to be expanding their Harmony network, which has been in Southern California, up to Northern California. And I'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. So you can see all the offerings that CalChoice is known for. They're super successful now, lots of reasons to sell them, but not a ton of changes in 2022, which is nice. All right, Covered California for small business. Very minimal changes with them. You can see they're removing, again, the Oscar plans, some plans, adding a couple plans, but pretty minimal overall, nothing major, which is nice. Health Net. So Health Net, kind of like Aetna, has been pretty quiet throughout the state. It's been selling in certain regions. And now in 2022, actually, we already started selling a lot of it now, starting this fall, because there are price decreases throughout the state. But you're going to see more Health Net be more competitive. So just like Aetna, if you had stopped kind of marketing Health Net, you definitely want to show Health Net on your spreads in 2022 to make sure that you're giving your group, a full view of the whole market. You're going to see the trends here. These are the quarterly trends that Health Net's had. You're going to see where they've really focused on lowering HMO rates, again, in regions 3, 6, and 12. Look at that second bullet point. So you're going to see that since January of 2021, the average decrease was 7% with Health Net, but in some areas it decreased up to 46%. Thus our increased sales starting in September. And then they've really come on strong, specifically in the Bay Area, with a full network PPO in certain regions, and that's regions 3 and regions 9. So just beware. Kaiser. We all know Kaiser, they're great, very stable, and they continue to be very stable into 2022 as well, even more so than before. So you're going to see the statewide average listed there. Then they announced some good news. They have always been easy. They've only looked at reviewing new business rates for small business in January and July every year, and they've already announced that they're not going to increase rates in July. So they've given us their rates for January 2022, and they've announced those rates will hold all the way through 2022. What that means is when you're talking to all your December renewals for this year, you can actually give them an idea what their next year renewals can be at the same time. So you can show them this year and next year's renewals with the caveat of, you're looking at the census as today and who knows what it's going to be in 12 months, but it can definitely help them, budget for the long haul. So above shows the statewide average for Kaiser. The second bullet point points out that in certain areas, they really decreased even more, specifically in Santa Cruz and in Orange County. So take a look at that. And then just like Aetna, Kaiser has introduced a gold HSA plan for 2022. So it's a $1,600 deductible, which is pretty minimal for an HSA plan. So these HSA plans, we've been selling, we used to sell a ton of them, then it kind of became kind of stagnant, and we're thinking in 2022 we're going to start selling more HSAs than in recent history, just because people want those lower HSA deductibles and they're coming back to the market. So something to be aware of. Kaiser announced absolutely no plan changes for 2022. So again, you can show their renewal right now for December of this year and next year, and you can show them what their plans are, no changes. Kaiser sells the same plans through Kaiser, Covered California, and CalChoice. Covered California had a rate advantage recently because in Covered California, the Kaiser rates did not include pediatric dental. So if you had employees with dependents, the rates through Covered California were less than if you went to Kaiser or CalChoice. Be aware in January of 2022, that goes away, and the rates are the same. Same exact plans, same exact rates, whether you go Kaiser Direct, Covered California, or CalChoice. UnitedHealthcare. So UnitedHealthcare, you see again, very minimal changes. Those are annual trends, extremely minimal. They're just also introducing one new plan. It's not an HSA, it's a high deductible. It's just a higher deductible, $7,200. I want to spend a second talking about what they're doing on their PPO plans, the Select Plus PPO, and Blue Shield did this in 2021, and we didn't hear much about it. So just be aware of it. I don't think it's much of an issue. On their PPO plans in next year, they're going to start reaching out to members at renewal and when they enroll and ask them for a PCP. Yes, these are PPO plans. No, you normally don't have to give a PCP on a PPO plan, but they're going to ask, and if they don't give them a PCP, they'll be auto-assigned one. When they need care, they can go to any doctor they want to. Ideally, a network's going to save them more money, since we all know, but they can go anywhere they want to. They don't have to go to the doctor on their ID card. And it is a PPO plan still. You do not need a referral. So you can go to any doctor anytime, save money when you're in network, obviously. This is just a new trend in the insurance industry where they're finding that those few of us that actually don't have a relationship with a doctor really need one, and they're just trying to encourage them to find one, select on their own. If they don't, there's one to be suggested. I mean, I've talked to people before when they're always healthy, nothing ever happens to them, and then they get sick out of the blue and they have no idea who to go to. So here, if they pulled out their UHC Select Plus PPO card, they would see a doctor that they could go, and they would know they're in network too, which is nice. The last thing on this slide with UnitedHealthcare, again, the trend with pharmaceutical costs getting more and more expensive and the carriers trying to help members save money, is with UHC, they're going to start giving separate copays for specialty RX. Now, usually we've always thought that those have always fallen into tier 4, that 25% up to $250. But actually UHC has specialty drugs at tier 3 mainly, but they can be in tier 1 or 2. And now in 2022, if you have a specialty drug with UHC, there's going to be set copays based on the tier, and you can see there. It's not any more than it was before, and actually it could be less than what they used to pay for specialty drug. And for those of us that don't take specialty drugs, we have a normal standard copays. All right, so UnitedHealthcare, like some of the other carriers, are reducing their narrow networks, just trying to clean them up a little bit. They're getting rid of the Advantage network, but they're expanding the Harmony network, where if you're in Southern California, you're familiar with it, but if you're in Northern California, you haven't been, they're going to take Harmony and take it statewide. And Harmony is where you're going to find the Canopy provider system in the Bay Area. So if you're interested in Canopy, which UnitedHealthcare's had, that's where you're going to find it. It was an Advantage, now it's going to be Harmony. And I will say, take a look at those rates, they're super competitive. And these, again, the same concept as the joint venture with Aetna or Vivity with Anthem. These are high-end provider systems that are partnering with insurance companies to have lower premiums for the people that enroll in their plans. John Muir, UCSF, et cetera. So if I go to John Muir, I might as well just take the Harmony HMO network, save premiums versus what I was paying before. And then my coworker, if they don't want Harmony, they can enroll in a different full HMO network or PPO, et cetera. Last thing with UnitedHealthcare is they too are known for the member tools. Another expanded tool that they're offering is they have this one-pass commercial membership option. So if you go to the gym and you're a UHC member, there's actually 4 choices of what you can select. And when you select them, it depends on what the benefits are that you get. To the far left, if you go to your normal kind of basic gyms, that's where you're going to be. But if you go to like boutique gyms that are more expensive, actually UHC now has discounts to those gyms. So just because you're a UHC member, you can enroll with us. All right, moving on to special enrollment. Just a quick reminder that this is a time once a year where ACA says if you've got a group that is not meeting participation with a carrier, it's their one time where they can move from one carrier to another, and the carrier cannot tell them no based on 2 things, contribution or participation. So you could have a 100-life group, only 1 person wants insurance, 99 don't want to pay for it, and you can move them to a new insurance company, but they have to be submitted from November 15th to December 15th for specifically a 1/1 effective date. Beware, all other rules apply. It has to truly be a small group. It has to have everything you're used to in small group. You can't say this is a home for your large groups that have poor participation. It has to truly be a small group. The other thing is, again, we can take 1 out of 100, but you have to go get 99 waivers for those people that don't want the insurance. So just all the normal paperwork's required. With this, the one issue is some of the carriers say, hey, we have to do this, but if you're offering us alongside Kaiser, we don't have to do this. So you'll see in this first row or column around, row, with alongside another carrier, Anthem, for example, and CaliforniaChoice, say, and Aetna. Those first 3 carriers say, we don't have to go alongside Kaiser for the special enrollment period. This rule doesn't apply. The other carriers say, oh, that's fine. You can offer Kaiser and us for this situation. Infertility, so the carriers are starting to do different things to identify how you're going to get their infertility benefits. Those state mandated plans all have kind of very base level. If you want something more thorough, then, for example, Aetna's doing what HealthNet's been doing for a while, and they're going to have an infertility rider. So when you're quoting in our quote engine, you're going to see the same plan with or without infertility. So please make sure you're selecting the right one, or just send it our way and we'll quote it for you. We're also working with Health Connect to see if they can build a filter. So it's just less plans listed that you're scrolling through to pick your plans that you want to offer. With UHC, they have handled infertility in 2 different ways. One is HMO was a rider and PPO was built into the plan design. Starting in 2022, the PPO plans will not have infertility built in. If the group wants infertility on the PPO plans, just select it as a rider, just like on the HMO side. As you probably know, the carriers are very interested in membership. It's been a stagnant market for 5 years, so they're looking for membership, and they continue to have very lucrative bonus programs. I'm not going to go through all of them. They're all very similar, but a couple of them are different. So, for example, Anthem doesn't necessarily have a bonus program, but they're offering 6% commission for the life of the case if you have a group of 10 or more, and it enrolls from now to January. So that's nice. And Cigna+Oscar is definitely trying to get their name out there and has a very lucrative bonus program. You can see group of 4 or more, you're going to get $700 for submitting that group, and there's no maximum of how many groups you can submit. So we have a link here where you'll send it out and you can see all the details, because of course there's details. Ancillary, same trend as with medical. The premium average increases are very minimal or actually decreases. So I want to call out a couple things. Delta Dental's decreasing rates by 4% and Guardian's decreasing rates by about 5%. So it's been pretty minimal through COVID. No one was going to the dentist, of course, and that's continued on. So the insurance companies are able to do this. I will point out that it does seem that now people are going to the dentist, and the dentists are claiming they're finding a lot of grinding of teeth and really kind of things that weren't taken care of when they should have been. So our teeth are all worse off than they used to be. And so I'm expecting claims probably in 2023 or to be this year to be high. So you'll see that in the rates the following year. Large group and small group level funded. So with large group, quick reminder is, Kaiser, at least in the Northern California, is pretty dominant, and Anthem's been very strict alongside Kaiser. They've tried to get a little more lenient, so just be aware with large group, Anthem, 101 to 300 or 500 as long as it's a pooled product. It was 50% alongside Kaiser. Now they'll drop it to 40% alongside Kaiser. They do require 75 to enroll with Anthem, the minimum of one more person enrolling with Anthem than with Kaiser. Just a reminder, we sell Kaiser large group as well. And HealthNet large group, I want to point out, especially if you're in Northern California, where again, Kaiser tends to be an issue, if you have too many people on Kaiser than not, HealthNet large group has come out with a product called Enhanced Choice Solutions, which has gotten a lot of attention lately. We've been quoting it a lot. We have some sales on it as well, where this specific portfolio will allow will only require 10% of the group to enroll with HealthNet large group, minimum of 25 enrolled. So you can have a 300 life group and get only 30 enrolled, and that is fine. This is a specific portfolio. As I said, it does not include a full network HMO, but it does include a full network PPO and other narrow network HMOs, including like Canopy Care, which has John Muir, UCSF, etc. The last thing here is the level funded's definitely come to market this year. Cigna level funded's kind of owned that market in California. If you didn't know already, Anthem and UHC have brought their products to market in 2021. The nice thing with level funded, it's the best of both worlds. It's like fully insured, that the poor group doesn't ever end up being on the hook for large claims if their group turns to be pretty sick. But it's like self-insured in the sense that if the group is healthy and they run well, they can earn up to 50% of the surplus back. So they pay the monthly premiums, but if they're healthy, they can get some of those premiums back. Again, if they're healthy, and up to 50% of the surplus. They have the benefit of quoting these groups, and with Anthem, they have to be 20 enrolled. With UHC, it's 10 eligible, is that you can get composite rates to these smaller groups. And these groups are not restricted by the ACA metallic plans, so there's more leniency in the plan designs. And so you can have richer plan designs than you can find in the small group market, but you're giving them to a small group and their composite rates. So we can spend more time on that. Just reach out to if you want more detailed information. So those are everything I had for you today. Let me quickly look at the questions. I think we're right at 2:30. 1 second, give me a chance. And if can't get to them all, there are some questions. There's a question about Covered California. Unfortunately, they have had some pretty drastic service issues. They moved from one computer system to a brand new computer system starting September 1st, and it didn't go well. So I know we've been pretty involved trying to resolve things. If the group is with us, we're happy to help you. It is getting better, but still a little bumpy. And also the renewal letters currently are just like a letter that tells you a percentage increase, but it doesn't give like a full renewal breakout that we're all used to. So be aware of that. So it looks like someone's had issues. Definitely give us a call. We can help you with those. Let's see here. I don't know if there's more questions in that one. I think that is it. So thank you very much for your time today. I know it's Q4. I know everyone's busy. Thank you so much. If you have any questions on anything I mentioned or anything else, or service issues for that matter, let us know. We're always happy to help you. We can help you with quoting, open enrollment meetings, whether virtual or in person, ease implementation for setting up new groups, ongoing maintenance with ease, which I think is unique to us, ongoing service in general, ads, deletes, billing, etc. And we just appreciate your time today and your partnership, and don't be shy. Let us know how we can help you. Thanks, guys. Take care.